Right, let's read this question again. The B part of the question says, suppose that the interest rate for Matthew's investment was 10%. You remember in the first part of the question, it was also 10%. But it's now 10% per annum, compounded. Now the important, how is the compounding done? It is half yearly. You can see it's in bold. You'll remember in the previous part, it was the same question, Matthew, that deposits 4,000 Rand at a 10% per annum, compounded yearly or annually. Now it's half yearly. How long will it take for the investment to double? So it's still the 4,000 that becomes 8,000. It's still N that we are looking for. The only difference now is that the compounding is half yearly. Let's see what difference it's going to make to our problem. Matthew now wants to invest 4,000 Rand. He wants his money to double. That means to 8,000 Rand. The difference now from our previous example is that Matthew, when he invests this 4,000 Rand, he wants 8,000 Rand, but now the interest will be compounded half yearly. So it's still compound interest, A equal to P1 plus I to the N. He will invest the 4,000 Rand. He wants his money to double to 8,000. The interest rate is still 10% per annum. The difference now is the compounding is half yearly. Now, a good idea when compounding changes from yearly to half yearly to quarterly to monthly, that we adjust our formula. So for half yearly, we will now say 1 plus I divided by 2. And the reason for 2 is the half yearly compounding. There are 2 half years within 1 full year. And then the N will be multiplied by 2, so we call it 2N. So that means this 2N now represents the number of half years. So N, the number of years, 2N, the number of half years. You may think it will be a problem to solve. You will see as we go along, it doesn't really make the problem more complicated. It makes it much more easier. So let's now do our substitution, and let's then calculate how long it will take. So R is equal to 10%. Remember, when we want I, we say it is 10 over 100. Because this is easy to put it in a decimal form, we will get 0,1. Please remember what I said before, never to round this off. So we will substitute. Our A is 8,000. Our P is 4,000. 1 plus I, 0,1 over 2 to the 2N. We're now going to do a little bit of manipulation. We want this bracket on its own so that we can solve for N. So we will divide both sides by 4,000 like we've done in the previous example. 8,000 divided by 4,000 will equal 2. The bracket you may leave like this. We can put it like this on the calculator. The exponent of 2N. Now again, you can use your log definition to change this exponential equation to a log equation. So that means 2N will be equal to, like this one say, the exponent will be equal to the log of A. This is now the log of 2, the log of 2, and with that B, which is this bracket, as our base, 0,1 over 2. And that we're going to put now onto our calculator. So we will get 2N is equal to a number. This number will represent the number of half years. Then we will divide by 2 to find the number of years. So if you are ready with your calculator, I'm going to use my Casio calculator again. And I'm going to first calculate this log. Please remember what we said before. On your calculator, you have a log button that looks like that. It's got a little square and a little square. That means you can put in, this you may put in. And that is the one I'm going to use. On my calculator, on the right-hand side, I find that button. It asks me for the base first. So I say 1 plus, I open up the fraction, 0.1 with the arrow key, I'm going to put down the 2, and I move away to that position with my arrow key, and then I put in the 2 there, and then I push the equal button. Now my answer works out to 14,2066,9908. And I hope you agree with me on that one. How do I get rid of the 2? I divide both sides by 2, and I write down my value for n, or my number of years. 1,033,49541. I just wrote down all the decimals. Now, in many cases, the question will say, round off to 2 decimals. Then you round this answer to 2 decimals. So you look at the third one, which is less than 5. So that one will not change. So you get 7,10. Many examiners prefer that you put the 10 if the question say 2 decimals. Even the 0 doesn't really make a difference. Rather put it down for safety. So this is my answer to 2 decimals. The question may also say that we want it in years and months. So then what I do is I subtract the 7, and I use the full decimal, all the decimal digits. I multiply that by 12, and that gives me an answer of 1,2, which means more or less 1 month. So you may say it takes 7 years and approximately 1 month. Or you can say 7,1. Both these answers you will decide on which one to use depending on your question. Let's now look at our next problem.